The last few hours in Tyneside have been marked by an atmosphere of uncertainty and anticipation. It wasn't a match, nor a major victory or defeat, that stirred the fans. What dominated conversations in pubs, WhatsApp groups, and even queues around St. James Park was a rumour. A piece of news that seemed minor at first glance but grew to become the main topic among Newcastle United supporters. Something unexpected happened with one of the new arrivals at the club, and it left the fans intrigued. Before we dive into the details, I want to make a quick invitation. If you're a Newcastle fan, follow every step of our club closely, and don't want to miss any updates, subscribe to the channel right now. This simple action helps us continue bringing fresh information directly to you, always with engaging and exciting storytelling. So click the subscribe button and join this passionate community of Magpies supporters. It has been an intense summer for Newcastle. After a busy transfer window, the club not only strengthened its first team but also invested heavily in the youth categories, securing young talents for the future. There were expensive signings, such as Nick Woltermaid, who arrived for around £69 million, and other high-profile acquisitions like Yoan Wissa and Anthony Elanga. However, while everyone was talking about the star signings, the club was also preparing for tomorrow, bringing in promising names to develop in Tyneside. Among these youngsters, some names began to generate high expectations behind the scenes, some for the under-18s, others for the under-21s, each carrying the hope of developing and, in the future, wearing the black and white shirt in front of 52,000 fans at St. James Park. Everything seemed perfect for this new generation arriving, ready to take their first steps in English football. But a quiet twist changed the plans even before the season's opening kickoff for one of these talents. Fartang Salia, an 18-year-old Georgian forward, signed from Dinamo Tbilisi and considered a rising gem, suffered an injury shortly after officially joining Newcastle United. The news was reported by Newcastle World and landed like a cold shower on both the fans and the club's plans. The youngster, who had even caught Eddie Howe's attention after showing himself at the training centre, will be sidelined until the end of the year due to a thigh problem. This news shook the backstage because, despite being very young, Salia was already being prepared for an important first step in his adaptation, a planned loan to give him minutes and experience. Now, that plan will have to wait. The new under-21 coach, Adam Lawrence, was awaiting the player's arrival to integrate him into the squad but will have to postpone plans and restructure his selections for Premier League 2, although the forward position is relatively well covered with players like Sean Neve, Ben Parkinson and Joe Brazen. Salia's absence still weighs heavily. If you've been following this story so far, it's because you care about every detail of what happens at Newcastle. So I'll take this moment to remind you, subscribe to the channel now. That way, whenever urgent news like this breaks, you'll be the first to know, without relying on rumors or waiting until it's too late. It's free, and it strengthens our passionate community of Magpie supporters. Salia's case also draws attention for another reason. He was one of the last signings made by Paul Mitchell, the club's former sporting director. Mitchell, who arrived at Newcastle with a strong reputation following stints at Monaco and Tottenham, left Tyneside just a year later, without making a significant impact on the first-team signings. Amidst the challenges imposed by the PSR, despite this, he managed to bring in several young talents, including the Georgian forward. It's still early to assess the real impact of Salia's injury on his career, but it's certainly a setback for a boy who carried the hope of taking his first steps in English football this season. Meanwhile, other youngsters signed under Mitchell have already embarked on different paths. Antonio Cordero, for example, is on loan at KVC Westerlo, while Fitzgerald and the Turkish player Baran Yildiz are showing progress with the under. William Osula, another player brought in during Mitchell's tenure, has already shown more concrete signs of success, scoring goals and even taking part in Newcastle's EFL Cup triumph. It is in this contrast that fans watch the first chapters of Salia's Newcastle career unfold. After all, in football, every detail can change a destiny. From a gem cheered by supporters to a prospect who fails to meet expectations. For now, however, the anticipation continues. The injury, though frustrating, is not severe enough to end dreams. The young Georgian will have recovery time, the club's support, and the chance to show, in the future, why he was signed. That's why it's worth staying tuned to this channel, as we'll follow every update on Salia and other young Magpies talents step by step. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, that way you won't miss a single detail of this journey, which will surely deliver many exciting stories at the heart of Tyneside.